So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Hey guys, how you doing? It's RC Gate. Welcome back to Squared Circle Rants. And last week was big. We had a war. Well, really a battle and really one-sided. But yes, last week we had the battle between WWE NXT and AEW Dynamite. And I'm sure you're aware by now, WWE swept the floor with them. It wasn't even close. But Tony Khan didn't take it well. No, he didn't. I encourage you to go find all the tweets. I didn't want to go looking for them because there's a ton. But yes, Tony Khan kept complaining on Twitter or throwing jabs or even responding to random fans, which was weird. But it's out there. Like, there's some weird comments. Go check them out. But one Booker T makes a really good point talking about Tony Khan here. This was a part of, or via, the HOF podcast, Hall of Famer podcast. I believe that's what it's called. Yes, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, but this is what Booker T had to say. I don't know what his fixation is on WWE. I have some ideas. All right, let's redo that. I don't know what his fixation is on WWE. I don't mind the boys trash talking when the boss is doing it. Doesn't that feel a little childish to you? Yeah. I mean, okay, let's look at Vince. Vince has done a lot of things. Let's just leave it at that. Vince has done a lot. But have you ever seen him, like, take digs publicly at other wrestlers, I mean, there's many things you can find, hidden things in WWE and AEW of taking digs at each other, but I'm talking straight over the internet, go off on people. Yeah, it is. Like, it doesn't make Tony look good, and it doesn't make the company look good. So while Booker T made a good point there, he wasn't being mean, wasn't being rude, wasn't even taking a dig. However, he's changed his stance on that. This comes from the pro wrestling world, who quotes Booker T saying, I gotta take it, or I gotta take a dig at the last comment that he made about the NXT rating. Yeah, he went off on a lot, but he said that it was the first time that John Cena and The Undertaker appeared in front of less than 1 million people for WWE. And well, the thing is, he's got Edge and Christian and all of those guys there, so it's like, when you say stuff like that, you might want to think about it before you say stuff like that. Kind of repeated himself there. But yeah. Yes, WWE stacked the deck against AEW. I mean, the moment Tony announced AEW Dynamite on Tuesday, WWE went, F your show. They stacked, but it's WWE. They always stack the deck. Heck, look at the ratings before this little war happened, you know? They were kicking ass and taking names. But to me, that was childish too. Like, okay, you beat us, but really, you had Taker, this guy, and you couldn't get 1 million? Well, really, Tony, you just got Adam Copeland. And, just saying, I wasn't as smooth about this as I thought I was going to be. Just saying, Tony, you might not want to throw stones. Look at it, Tony. Look at it, Tony! But seriously, you're going to go that route. Well, you have this name couldn't build it. And I love Adam Copeland, and I hope he actually does something to help AEW, even though they don't really deserve it. But the proof's in the pudding, Tony. But now I'm actually going to end this whole video with the craziest thing to me that Tony did out of this whole thing. I might hear something crazier later, but for now, this is the craziest thing I heard. A fan reveals that he got a DM from Tony Khan in defense of controversial AEW storyline. Let's quickly go into that. Speaking of bad decisions and why maybe attendance and ratings is failing, Tony Khan decided to do a wrestling angle that apparently MJF may be on board for. We don't know. He's going along with it so far. But if you haven't heard or seen, about a year or so ago, MJF did this whole promo about he was picked on in school, bullied for being Jewish, and they would even throw quarters at him or hit him with quarters. It was a very sad story, and hey, pick it up, Jew boy. That's what he said. That was a story, very touching, trying to get sympathy. Well, then here recently, I can't believe it. I'm not going to show it. Juice Robinson had a roll of quarters that had MJF's last name on it. Now, real quick, in wrestling, you're the heel. You want to garner heat. And a lot of wrestlers have done a lot of bad things to garner that heat. But even ignoring what's happening, that whole war going on, this had no class. It was tasteless. It didn't need to be in the storyline. There's much better things they could have done. And this gentleman on Twitter kind of had the same thought. He said, "We were watching at AEW when this happened live last night. It was tasteless and a horrible decision by Tony Khan to pursue an angle woven with anti-Semitism. We changed the channel. AEW lost me as a fan with this one, which sucks because I really enjoyed their product." Real quick, I enjoy their product some of the time. But anyway, so made this comment, and like I said, Tony had actually been reacting to people on Twitter or X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Which that alone is, you're the boss of a freaking big company. You're responding to these idiots. Like, I'd be shocked if you responded to me. Of course, I would have made a freaking video instantly. I would. But then to actually go into the DMs, as they say, of said fan or that person to say this, "I got the point that you didn't like the angle on the second tweet, Travis." I know you can't read into things in text, but that was his tone. Travis. Freaking idiot. Not you, Travis. Not you. Message was received hours ago. I don't think quoting TMZ is doing much good. Tony, you idiot. That's how you respond? Like, it was weird enough you responded to a fan in his DMs alone, but to respond like that, he wasn't just saying, "Oh, this is horrible," or "Oh, you messed that up." No, this was a legitimate complaint. And so this is what this kid responded back to him. "How often do you slide into a fan's DMs to mock legitimate critique?" Yeah, Tony. "I love AEW. In my opinion, you have the greatest roster in the entire industry." That's his opinion. No, I'm with him. I'm with you, Travis. "I've been to over a dozen AEW shows, you poor guy. Hang in there. Have a couple of friends in the company." Ooh, who do you know? Hey, Travis. and have promoted your brand extensively. If I can recommend anything, it would be to not just acknowledge our legitimate concern, but address it head on, non-kayfabe, on next week Dynamite. Doubt he's going to do it, but I agree. I mean, obviously, Travis is not the only one upset. I'm not the only one upset. I'm sure there's a ton of people who wrote in about this whole thing, and they ain't happy. But, so yeah, I originally wanted to make this video, talk about Booker T's thoughts, because he makes some really good points on how Tony Khan is representing himself and his company. And to end it on that, like, not just childish to, you know, really be bitching on Twitter when you're losing. Hey, we've all been there. You're losing. You don't like it. It sucks. You might trash talk a little bit. We've all been there. But you're also the owner of the company. It just doesn't look good whatsoever. And you have a lot of stuff to do in your company to fix. So stay away from Twitter. Stay away from the Twitter fans. God, man. And you know what? Have some tea. It's good. Can't believe I like tea now. But there you have it, folks. Just wanted to share all that with you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. All that fun stuff. And, you know, guys, I just seriously want to say, bye!